I think from there onwards, I only saw upwards in my life, upward direction.
And having a mentor who sees more in you than yourself, I think it's a great way to move forward.
You are not underqualified, you are underclaimed. The subconscious mind actually never gives you what you deserve. It gives you what it believes you are allowed to have. Because here's the truth, you don't rise to the level of your talent, you rise to the level of the identity you consistently live from. From today onwards, don't ask yourself, are you ready? Ask yourself, who do I want to become? Hi Chetna, how are you?
Very good, thanks.
Thank you for joining in. Hope you're doing well.
Yes, I need to book a session with you. I hope you are as well. You are the
Yes.
main lady I think of all the time. You came in my life at a turning point. You have no idea.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much for these words. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's start the session. I'll begin now. See, first of all, the topic of this session is how ambitious women leader claim their authority. Okay. Now, when we think of ambitious leaders, we always think that they're born with it. They have that ambition, they are confident, they are built for this. Now, let me tell you something. Over the next half an hour to 45 minutes, I don't want you to learn another leadership framework. I want you to discover something much deeper. We have more people joining in, so I'll just say a quick hi to them. So we have Kishwar. Hi, Kishwar. How are you?
Hello,
Hi, Marin.
Christina. Very good.
Okay, great to see you here. I have Marin also, who had joined in earlier when I was practicing the session. I hope you're doing good. Thank you for joining in again.
Yes, yes. Hi, hi. Yeah, all is well. Yeah.
Great. So let's start. So what happens is over the next half an hour to 45 minutes that we are here, I don't want you to learn anything about leadership or motivation or things like that. Okay. This is much deeper than that. So I want you to discover here, because the biggest barrier to leadership is almost never intelligence or experience or degrees or certifications. It is never about qualifications that we have, okay, and the years of experience that we have. It is about identity, okay. When I say this, today I want you to ask yourself one uncomfortable question. What if the only thing standing between you and the next level of your career is not your capability or the years of experience or the qualifications and the degrees, but the version of yourself you have subconsciously agreed to remain in or you have become comfortable in? So let me ask you this. That question actually changed my own work forever. You know, if you know that why and why is it this way, it will change your life. Now, let me again tell you, you cannot change your destination overnight. We all know this. It needs patience, it needs learning, it needs knowledge. But you can change your direction overnight. Because today, right here, we are not changing your destination. We are changing the internal direction that determines every decision you make. I don't know how many of you agree with this, but the subconscious mind actually never gives you what you deserve. It gives you what it believes you are allowed to have. Okay. So this is really, really important. And I hope this stays with you throughout this whole session and beyond. Now, a quick introduction. Many of you know me here because I have been in touch with you. You have taken the services that I provide, and you are still my clients now. I'm very humbled and grateful to you guys to be in my life and to the Almighty that He has given me that opportunity to add some kind of value in your life. Okay, I'm very humble, very grateful for this. Now, for everyone who doesn't know me, I'm Mohsin Ahmed, and I have spent years working with executives, entrepreneurs, and leaders and founders across industries. And one pattern that I have seen in each one of them again and again, irrespective of what position, what designation, what kind of level of success they have. The people who rise the fastest are rarely the smartest or the most confident in people in the room. They simply believe something different about themselves. Okay. So if I tell you confidence isn't built by thinking, It's built by evidence. I absolutely agree to this. But here's what I have discovered over thousands of sessions that I have done across the world, across different industries, and my own life experience. Many leaders already have the evidence. They have years of experience, years of proofing behind them. They just haven't updated their identity. They have 20 plus years of experience, some of them, okay? Yet internally, what do they feel? They still feel like they are asking for permission for their next leap, for their next level of success. That is the gap I help people close, not by giving any kind of jargons or of motivation, okay, but by helping them identify and transform the subconscious belief that quietly dictate their leadership and their mindset thoughts. Because your subconscious doesn't care about your resume, your qualification, your degrees. That is the reason why the underdogs coming up in organizations in real life and becoming millionaires or taking on the CEO position, CTO position, because it is not the environment, it is not the degrees. It only repeats the identity it has accepted as true for themselves. And then you work towards that identity. You have the subconscious beliefs, the bag of subconscious beliefs that supports that identity. Your growth and performance has a ceiling to that subconscious belief that you are holding right now. So, the map for today's session is basically, I'll just outline it very clearly to you so that you have an idea where this is going. So, we are going beneath leadership struggles and strategies. We are going beneath confidence techniques. We are going beneath communication skills. Okay. We are going to the operating system, your mindset, your subconscious. Because if your operating system and your rule book is outdated and doesn't match the level of success and doesn't match the identity, the leap that you want to go ahead with, no strategy will produce long lasting change and the next level of growth. We'll explore why highly capable leaders still hesitate, okay? Why fear often disguises as humility, how authority is actually created internally, how subconscious beliefs can either imprison your leadership or multiply it. As you know, your life changes when your standards change. Absolutely true. But I'd like to add one sentence in this. Your standards only change permanently when your identity and your mental energy for yourself changes first. Everything else around it builds towards that. So let's look at this. This is a very, very powerful sentence. And I want you to stay with it and read it twice. You are not underqualified, you are underclaimed. I want everyone here to slow down for a moment, read this sentence, and see what do you think about this. Because many leaders actually spend years collecting qualification degrees, put in hours and hours of work, okay? And while never claiming their authority. Think about this. How many meetings have you entered already knowing the answer, yet waited for someone else's approval before speaking? How many ideas stayed inside your notebook because someone more senior was speaking and you didn't want to interrupt, though you knew that your idea was better and could have helped, but you didn't want to displease anybody in the room? Because you know, how many promotions did you leave behind or was given to somebody else? Not because of the lack of capability or the experience or the multitasking, but because you didn't fully claim your position and said, yes, I know it, I have done it, and I can do it further. This isn't a competence problem at all. It's an identity problem. And the world rewards people who become known first to themselves. Before getting to be known to anybody else, they claim themselves as special, as someone who knows themselves, who stop negotiating with their worth, who stop waiting to be chosen. Because no organization can consistently promote someone who still subconsciously believe they need permission to lead. let's take a quick pulse check, and I want this session to be interactive. So I want you guys to answer this, and the first answer actually that comes to your mind. I'll ask you a few questions. I want you to write this in your in the chat box. Don't overthink this. There's no judgment in this, okay? But I want to understand that where you are at in terms of your journey of life. So don't overthink. Just write down the first answer that comes. Okay. Question number 1: from 1 to 10, how claim do you honestly feel in your current role? How much authority do you feel in your current role? I want you to write down the number here in the chat box. Not how successful, not how busy, okay? How claimed do you feel? What kind of authority do you feel in your present job? Not how successful you are, but like you own that position. Now, question 2. Oh, amazing. So you are 7, amazing. Japshina, hi. Amazing. Shruti, 6, great. Okay. 4 for Anthony. Silfa Anthony, great. Government aid business 3, Chetna, amazing. So government, you are absolutely doing well. Authority wise, Kauthar, you're given 4, Sidra 8. Amazing. Okay, so we have the answers. Now let's take on the second question here. What is the first emotion that comes up when you imagine stepping into your next level? Is it excitement? Is it fear, pressure? Or you still feel that you're an imposter and you're not ready for it yet? Or is there curiosity? So notice this about you and just type on the first answer that comes in your mind. I'm taking on the answers here. Excitement and anxiety. Ashita, hi. Imposter, I can understand, Kishwar, but that's absolutely fine. Shahina, not ready. Okay, amazing answers. Uncertainty, yeah, Mehnaz, I can understand where you're coming from. Sidra, great. Okay, Shruti, ready. Amazing. Shruti, you are leading it. Madhushri, we are waiting for answers. Tabassum has given 10. Okay. Payal, comfortable. Great. Okay, so we have the answers here. Now, the third one, which is absolutely, for people who are given a 4, given as imposter, given as, there is a bit of uncertainty in the thought process. So I want you to ask this question to you, and I want you to reflect this question just before answering. Okay, you can take a second or so to think about it. You don't have to immediately answer this, but take your time. Whose approval are you still waiting for this, claiming this authority or claiming this position or claiming this next leap? Is it a manager, a parent, a mentor, your partner, your team, probably your spouse, or perhaps your own? So whose permission are you waiting for before taking this next leap? Because here's something I have learned after years of belief work with my clients, with myself, my family. Okay, most adults are not making today's decisions. They're making yesterday's decisions, and they're making yesterday's conditioning. Okay, so many leaders, especially those who have been conditioned from a very, very early age to avoid conflict, keep everybody comfortable around them, seek approval, or equate confidence with arrogance. Learn to shrink before they ever learn to lead. I'm sure you have children, you will understand this very, very well, because you were a child once, and if you have children, you'll understand this. None of us were taught how to lead. We were always taught how to follow rules, follow elders, follow teachers, follow discipline, but never were we taught that lead. Go ahead and lead this. Go ahead and do this independently. Very rare circumstances people would teach children like that. But always, don't speak too loudly, don't upset people, don't take too much space, don't make others uncomfortable. Okay, take care of your friend's emotions, their thought process, even if it's at the stake of your emotions. Okay, it happens, let it go. Let someone else go first. Many of us, we were taught to follow. Okay, we were never taught intently to lead. And the tragedy is, those rules may have helped you belong once as a child, as a teenager, okay? But they will stop you from leading at this stage of your life, because your subconscious accepts whatever you tell it repeatedly. That is your rule book. You are living it and you're seeing the difference in your life. So if you have spent years telling yourself, I need permission, I need one more qualification, I need to be more ready, your subconscious simply follows those instructions. The beautiful part is that those instructions can be rewritten according to the goals or the thoughts and the identity that you want to create for yourself. That is the beautiful truth. So, coming to your answers, I want to see those answers. Absolutely, Sakina. Yeah, Shruti. I understand what you're saying. Japshina, when you have written this from my manager, I am always waiting somebody to tell or say this. This is not coming from the environment you in. This is the conditioning that you have had, you know. Yeah, Chetna, I can understand. Sometimes we have very strict parents, actually. And even though they wanted the best for us, but some of the things cannot be right for every time, okay, and every situation, because we have to understand this thing. And as we grow, we need to understand that what our elders told us once could be right at that point of time, but the world has changed, the energies have changed. So we have to create our thought process according to the world that we live in today, not according to the learnings that we had like 20, 30 years back in our life. Self approval, yes, Sidra, this is a very, very strong indicator that, even though everything around us is fine, everything is working, but what is happening is we are still waiting for ourselves to accept that we can do this. So, by own self approval, what you're talking about is absolutely, this is again a belief which is comes with fear, which comes with procrastination, comes with the thoughts of that. See, many people have comparison, that many people have gone ahead in life, I'm still there. So self bashing, self sabotage, self talks which are not helping you. So let's take on the next slide, and just from section 1, which is the identity lag. Okay, so what is the identity lag? Here's what it means. Your skills can improve in months. You can take up a course, you can join a program, and your skills, you're a different person. Nowadays, AI is the new trend, and people are learning AI in different formats. So absolutely, you can improve your skills. Your subconscious identity can remain 10 years behind. Okay, think through this statement. Okay, think about your phone. If you have an iPhone or a Samsung or whatever company it is, okay, think about it. When the software isn't updated to support some application, okay, things don't run properly in it. So even if you don't want to upgrade your phone, you have to upgrade the software. And sometimes it becomes a necessity to upgrade your phone, because some phones don't even support upgrades. Okay, so what happens here is that same thing happens with human brain. Your resume gets updated, your years of experience get updated, your LinkedIn gets updated, your salary gets updated, but your subconscious operating system that you are working with is still running beliefs that were formed years ago. The conditioning that you had, beliefs like, I shouldn't speak before senior people, I need everyone's approval, I shouldn't make mistakes, one mistake and everything that I have built up will vanish. Okay, I shouldn't disappoint people, and especially people with authority, people who can be in some kind of position. So the intimidation is there. Most of them were conditioned through family, through school, through culture, early work experiences, when you just entered the industry. And if you have got a boss who was too micromanaging, and you had to take permission for each and everything from that person. Okay, the brain is constantly trying to keep you what? Safe, because not successful. The brain is constantly trying to keep you safe. So it is telling you that if you change these rules about yourself, you will not be successful, okay? Or you will be seen a particular way. Success is not the point. Keep yourself safe, which means every time you are about to step into greater visibility, your subconscious asks one question to you. Have we survived this before? How were we treated when we try to overstep or we try to put our point across? And if the answer comes as no, it sends fear signals to our mind. Okay? Not because you are incapable or you did not handle this situation before or you did not handle responsibilities before, because you are unfamiliar what to do. And because you did things like this before and you were stopped, and there was someone in authority which said that, listen, you don't have to do this, I'll handle this, you don't know how to do this, so just be quiet. Okay, so this is an unfamiliar territory. That means there is fear in it, and the brain says stay safe, you don't have to expand yourself. Okay, if you expand, something terrible is going to happen to you, and the years of the years of position that you have created for yourself. Let's go ahead with this. Okay, two speeds, one person. What does this mean exactly? Competence versus identity. Look carefully at this picture. I want you to see this picture, okay, how this goes on. This is probably every leader in this room would feel this. Your competence is climbing, you're handling projects, you're completing projects after projects, you have had your promotions till a point of time, years of experiences there, people trust you. Your organization also sees that, doesn't give you tangible probably the increment, but tells you nice words, yes, you're doing well, okay, things you're doing. Clients have given you time and again validation that, listen, you have done really well. Okay, but there's this internal voice which is there. Are you ready yet? Are you even worth it? Okay, who all has felt this internal self-talk and that critical voice in their mind? Please give a thumbs up here. I want a thumbs up, because I have faced it many times. Even after showing results multiple times, I have faced this. Please give a thumbs up in the chat box. Great. Okay, so let me tell you this. Every achievement creates evidence. You know that what you have achieved in life, from your, I think, nursery to your kindergarten to your, throughout your life. You know exactly what you have done in your life. Okay, and you also know the evidence alone doesn't write identity. Identity changes with repetition, emotion, and new subconscious experiences. Okay, the body becomes the subconscious mind. Think about this. If your body has rehearsed uncertainty for 20, 30 odd years, it doesn't matter how many certificates you collect. This is why people can receive promotions and still feel like imposters, because competence lives in the conscious mind. Identity lives in your subconscious mind. That's the gap we are talking about here, between identity and your competence and the degrees that you have created over the years. Okay, so honest reflection, I want you to think through this. What is the thing that I want? Something uncomfortable. I want to ask you something uncomfortable here. Okay, don't answer it quickly, and just take your time while answering this. Which leadership quality do you secretly admire in others? What is it but you struggle to give yourself permission to have? So you're admiring this person in front of you is extremely probably the way she handles situation maturely, calmly, and she's right there. But when you think of yourself in that situation, you think that I'm not made for this, I'm not. So please write down your answers, take your time. Eloquence, absolutely true. Public speaking, communication, true, Farzana. Confidence, yes. Staying politically correct, yeah, that is something I think all of us have somewhere, we have to be diplomatic in situations and not to show our emotions or not give our emotional reactivity. Absolutely true. Madhushri, yes. Neelam, you have said confidence. Confidence is an outcome, actually. I'll talk about this very much. But yes, confidence is one of the traits. The ability to say no without saying no. Wow, that's so powerful. Payal, and that's absolutely true. Like, what is the excuse to come up with that it doesn't say that I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it? That's so amazing. I love these. Amazing, amazing. Yes. Confident speaking in public. I understand this can be a situation of jitter, and especially in presentations or in rooms where you know that there are people of all genres, of all people of different positions. Confidence can anxiety. Communication, gesture, yes. Kishore has said, being visible despite not adding real value. Okay. That is, again, despite not adding real value, this is something, this is your mindset. I'm sure that you add a lot of value, Kishore. You have been leading in a very, very leading high position in Henkel. So you have added a lot of value in people. Professional attitude, even if we are right. Yes. uh, yeah, not reacting emotionally. That's true. Not showing your emotional reaction or vulnerability. Now, vulnerability was taken at one point of time, though it is changing corporate wise, was taken once at one time as very, very weak. Leaders had to be a certain way, they could not show their vulnerability. But now things are changing. Professional attitude, even if you're right, yes. Communicate in front of the audience, absolutely, acting like someone who already has experience. That's very true, Shruti. You already have experience, though, Shruti, but yes, being in that identity that you are coming from experience and knowledge, that is again an identity issue, not your experience issue. So, controlling emotion while putting her opinion. Okay. Sidra, yes. And that is something that comes from triggers, actually not able to be uh, express yourself, not able to express yourself by not being emotional. So that comes from triggers, very underlying triggers, where it makes you, if you are saying something which is true, sternness, you also become emotionally weak. Okay, so those stern words comes up with probably flow of emotions through your tears or shaking, the body shaking. So this is absolutely true. Knowledge delivered with gravitas. Yeah. So Chetna, this is a very, very important thing that you have pointed out, and that is the reason why you will see a lot of people, especially in the senior position, they have a very poker face. So they are not supposed to smile too much, because if they smile, it dilutes their, position. And I found that really, really funny, because otherwise, when you talk to them, they are very open, they are very welcoming, they are very, they want to be joyful, but they cannot show these emotions in the floor of the industry, because there is a particular identity of a leader, that they have to be serious, they have to be a particular way, the demeanor, the way they walk, and with the spectacles and their poker face and their a very slight smile. So this is really, really true. Confidence speaking up, that's true. Controlled narrative, yes, that happens, and especially in all, actually, industries, throughout industries it happens. Control narrative is a problem. Self-confidence and anxiety. So let's take on why this happens and how can we shift this. Okay. And thank you everyone for the honesty that you have shown in your answers. That has given me insights as well. the kind of honesty that you have shown. That's really, really amazing. So let's take on the next one. So the next one is, many of you must have felt this, and at any given point of time, irrespective of the experience of the industry that you are in and the position that you're in, that I'm not ready yet. And I honestly believe this is one of the most expensive sentences in leadership or growth. Okay? I'm not ready yet because it sounds responsible. It sounds being humble. It sounds really intelligent that you are self analyzing yourself and you are taking out those critical points about yourself that needs to be worked upon. But underneath this particular sentence, I'm not ready yet. Okay, what happens here is that it's often fear wearing professional clothes or wearing that humble attitude. I heard somewhere this, okay? The highest paid people make decisions faster because they know they can handle the consequences. Readiness rarely arrives first. Decision creates readiness. Think about every promotion you have ever had. Were you completely ready then? Every time you excelled at something, were you completely ready? You just took that step. And probably not. You grew because responsibility demanded it at some point of your life. You had to do it. It's like life telling you that if you don't do this, there is problem. Okay, that's why you took those decisions without even thinking that, am I ready for this? How it's going to happen? You overtook fear that time. The subconscious actually loves operating from certainty. Okay, but leadership works from what? Uncertainty, being uncomfortable. And the gap between these two is exactly where transformation takes place. Okay, let's see the other beliefs, three hidden beliefs which are actually there. Now, let's go underneath that sentence. Most leaders don't have one limiting belief, they have a network of beliefs that's operating in your subconscious. Let me show you one of three of the biggest ones in those network of beliefs that you have. Authority versus likability. How many of you have this? Please give a thumbs up in the section. Many people have been conditioned to believe that if I become powerful, I show my authority, I claim my authority, people won't like me if I give them directions that this needs to be done this way. Every time they feel this in their mind, that people won't like me, so let me put it in a different way. Let me see that where should I draw the line. Let me just ignore this a bit right now. Okay, so every time authority increases, the subconscious pulls them backwards. And the second belief here is likability equals safety. This usually starts very early. As children, being accepted meant belonging. Okay, being agreeable meant safety. That you need to conform to rules, to family, to what elders are saying, to teachers, to discipline. And that meant safety for you, that you belonged. Okay, so that is something that even though we grow up in terms of age, in terms of exposure, we are not able to let go of that. So sometimes we give in even though we know that that's not the right thing to do, or this is the right path, I know the right path, but we are not able to lead people towards it. Okay, so I am safe is more important, people to approve of me is more important. But leadership here asks a completely different question. Can you still lead when not everyone agrees? Can you still show the direction when some people will oppose this? Okay, the third one is the loyalty conflict. This one is very powerful. Sometimes becoming the next version of yourself feels like leaving behind your identity or fearing that you will lose your family, your friends, if you grow higher than them. Okay. The colleagues you're comfortable with, you feel that, oh, I'm going to lose that touch, lose their group, their club. If I grow, if I become better in terms of my thought process, my energy, my wealth, my finances. Okay, so growth can unconsciously and subconsciously feel like betraying your loved ones, betraying the people whom you are emotionally attached to. Not because it is, because that's how the nervous system interprets change and growth and expansion. Okay, so you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. There's a very famous saying. Now, I'm sure most of us know this. Sometimes growth isn't just about changing habits, it's about changing environments. I'm not saying change your family, change your friends, no, but meet more people who are more knowledgeable than you. Try to follow more people online who are speaking something that is of context and that is going to help you expand your vision. Be in those groups, online or offline, who can help you build a better vision for yourself, a better perception, a better way which you would have otherwise not taken to expand by knowing your strengths, by understanding and by implementing them. Okay, so it's about becoming comfortable when your old identity no longer fits your environment. Okay, you have to find ways to be in those kind of groups. Now let's go on to the next one. Okay, the 4 layers of resistance that we have here. Okay, what are the 4 layers of resistance? Now wait up guys, because we have a visualization after this, after 5-7 minutes, and it's going to be a very, very powerful visualization, and I will walk you through your new identity through this. Okay, so let's see where is the 4 layers of resistance that it is coming from. The 4 layers of resistance are, the first is the cover story. Okay, so what is it? This slide explains almost every form of procrastination I have ever seen. Most people think resistance is the real problem. It isn't. Resistance is only surface. Layer 1 is the excuse that you give yourself. I don't have enough time. How many of you have said this to yourself? I have too much happening around me. Okay, so I don't have time to change things. Layer 2 is a visibility. What if everyone sees me fail? What if I decide this and then I fail and everybody will know me that I'm a failure already? Okay. Layer 3 is the identity resistance. If I change, will people still recognize me or still be with me, the people whom I love so much? And finally, layer 4, the nervous system, which is very, very important. This is where our work happens. This is where I work, actually, your nervous system, your subconscious thoughts. Because your body remembers experiences your conscious mind has forgotten. One embarrassing meeting, one rejection, one harsh criticism, probably from a teacher, from your sibling, from your relative, from your parents sometimes, okay, from your boss. One public failure, where people came to know that you failed in something, can become a subconscious program that lasts for years. So the subconscious learns through repetition and emotion, the emotion you feed in, and and also the selective memory that we keep with ourselves. That is where the subconscious is feeding from. That's why simply understanding your fear doesn't really remove your fear. Okay, understanding creates awareness that yes, you have this fear, and that is something which is stopping your growth. Transformation requires rewiring of the thought process of that fear into a very, very empowering self. Okay, so I'll talk to you about my journey and I'll explain you from my journey itself. Now what is happening is that, let me tell you my story, because I think most of you will understand from my story. Many of you know me because of the work of name alignment. It's a very personal story of mine. I'm telling you, I'm sharing this on this platform. So many of you will know me from the name alignment and identity transformation phase of my life. Okay. So for years, I was conducting nearly 70 to 80 sessions every single month. People often thought my work was simply about changing a name, but it never was. For me, it was always about helping people find direction, helping them move from limitation to possibility, helping them see themselves differently. Okay. And then one day, I felt there was something more I was meant to do. That's when the idea of starting a podcast came to me. Now, if you had known me years ago, you would know that this wasn't an obvious decision of mine. Okay. Communication, I was good at communication, but I would not term it as my natural strength at one point of time in my life. And especially during my college and my school, that if you would have seen me, you would have thought that, listen, she could never speak anything, because every time I had to speak on stage, I would freeze and I would think that, oh my God, I have to speak now. I hope today's day never happened, or this never occurred. So communication was never something that naturally came to me. Speaking to people I knew was one thing, but interviewing global leaders like presidents, Nobel laureates, CEOs of multinational companies, industry pioneers, the first few interviews, I felt really, really nervous. My mind kept asking all these questions to me, am I good enough? And you should go ahead and see my self-discovery podcast. It's on Hindustan Times, as well as, it's online as well. Okay, so I kept asking this question, am I good enough? What if I ask the wrong question? What if I don't sound intelligent enough? Does that sound familiar to you guys? Because that's exactly how the subconscious works. It doesn't predict your future, it simply repeats your past. But I made one decision one night. I chose not to listen to the critical inner voice behind me, okay, which was constantly telling me, listen, Mohsina, you're not made for this. You're not even confident enough to speak. You don't even have that knowledge. Okay, it kept telling me at the background. So I chose courage instead. One conversation at a time, okay, one interview at a time, one uncomfortable step at a time. And something remarkable happened during this time. Every conversation built confidence. Every interview expanded my identity. Soon I was interviewing leaders across industries, CEOs, CTOs, CMOs, founders, work hard for pharma, presidents, and Nobel laureates from different countries, different industries. And eventually, Hindustan Times approached me to collaborate on the podcast because of the conversations and the content we were creating regularly. Okay. So today, the Self Discovery podcast continues to inspire people around the world with focus. The audience is mostly, a corporate audience and founders and entrepreneurs. And I would love for you to listen to it sometimes. Okay. And just look at me and see that, was I underconfident while delivering it? Anytime. Did I look like that? Okay. So none of that had happened because I suddenly became fearless. It happened because I stopped allowing my fear to decide my future. The person you are today does not define the person you can become tomorrow. Okay. Your current identity is not your final identity. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you plant a seed, and this is going to grow into a tree. But the tree is what you can choose, that what kind of fruit it will give. So that seed is what you can choose. Okay. So with patience and with consistency, the seed becomes a tree. And here's the beautiful part. You get to decide what kind of a tree you want to grow. Okay. So from today onwards, don't ask yourself, are you ready? Ask yourself, who do I want to become? Because the answer to that question will determine every decision you make from this day forward. So why motivation doesn't work? I want to tell you this, that why does motivation doesn't work? Actually, why motivation failed? Because you might have heard videos, podcasts, attended seminars, read books on self-help, and done all of the homework that's required, all of the meditation, all of the thought process. But motivation fails because the next day or in 2 days, you become the same old person. You go back to the same behavior, same pattern, same conditioning. Why does this happen? Because motivation speaks to the conscious mind, but your fears live in your subconscious, in the conditioning, in the patterns, in your body's memory. Okay? You cannot think your way out of a belief your nervous system still believes to be true, or it is in your rule book. That's why awareness is important, but awareness alone will not give you transformation. This is exactly where our work begins. So, motivation isn't enough. What actually changes the way leaders operate is their mindset and the subconscious and their body's memory, their mindset's memory and the rule book. Okay, so delegation and micromanagement. We come to this. Here's something interesting. Micromanagement is rarely a management problem, actually. It's usually a trust problem. When leaders don't trust others, it's often because they don't fully trust themselves. And this is something you need to think through because authority isn't controlling every detail. It is about understanding and delegating and trusting people to deliver the results. So, a quick question here. How many of you have ever thought it's easier if I just do it myself rather than giving it to my team? Okay, please give a thumbs up in the comment section. I get a lot of thumbs up. Amazing. So all of us are having this belief, and this is again a very, very subconscious, ingrained belief of ours, okay, which makes us think in a way where we feel that let me do it myself. And rather than telling people and asking them to do it in a particular way, which I want, okay, this comes from the belief of that control will give me results, not surrender, not delegation. Okay, so because of this, every behavior points back to the belief, and beliefs can be changed. It can be changed. It's not that, you must have heard people in your family or friends saying that I am like this. Okay, I'm telling you, this is an absolute negation or negating the fact that you can change. That is a person who doesn't want to change, actually. Okay, so when you hear something like this, you need to absolutely negate that thought. It's like if we can acquire a skill that is important for us, we can also acquire a belief that will help us grow and that will help us in our journey of becoming a more aligned person. Okay, so are you micromanaging? So this slide will actually tell you this. Are you micromanaging? Score yourself on this. I redo work my team finished even when it was fine. I ask for updates more often than the work needs. I feel anxious when I can't see every step. Another thing I want to tell you, okay, who's losing sleep because of micromanaging and control? Please let me know in the chat box. I give tasks but rarely real ownership. Another thing is that I don't know how to delegate, and I don't know. The micromanaging also comes from the fact that you don't know how to delegate and how to ask for help. This is something that is missing here, but this is absolutely true. And many of my clients actually face this and go through this. Okay, so I had rather do it myself than ask and then explain it twice. Another thing, okay, impatience. So who has this? Please let me know in the chat box. Sakina, at times. Impatience, right, Farzana? Okay. I want answers. Please bring in the answers. Absolutely. So this, when it happens, what happens here is that I'll just tell you. So the slide changed the way many of our clients lead. This slide, when we are talking about most professionals unknowingly operate from one scorecard. Do people approve of me? Leaders operate from another. Did I move the outcome forward? One measures approval, the other measures responsibility. The moment your scorecard changes, your decisions begin to change. So what scorecard have you been using? Okay, now let's go ahead with reframing the discomfort. So discomfort is basically data. It is not a stop sign. Every time your heart races before speaking, before asking for the promotion, before making the difficult decisions, your subconscious says, this is unfamiliar. Most people here, this is dangerous. The emotion is identical. Only the meaning changes, and changing meaning changes behavior. Okay, now let's go ahead with the letting go. How do you let go of all these things? Okay, letting go of seeking approval, needing people liking you for the decisions you have taken. You have to let go of waiting for permission. And sometimes you have to let go of the version of yourself that kept you safe once and kept you from being uncomfortable. Okay, so these are the prime most important of letting go when we are doing. Your next level isn't asking you have to become someone else. It's asking you to stop negotiating with who you have always been capable of becoming. So if that's true, the question becomes, how do we actually create this shift? And that's exactly what I will show you next. Okay, so let's see the conscious shift. How do you put it together? First is your identity. Name the specific trait or the belief that's missing and be honest with yourself. There's no judgment. You can name it with yourself. Take a journal of you and name it. Recognize, separate the cover from the story from the real fear. So separate the excuse you are giving to this belief. Separate that emotion completely. Reframe this. Read the tight, first read the statement that is there. Say, I'm not worthy. If I feel that I'm not worthy of it right now, I reframe this whole sentence and look at myself in the mirror, and even before going to sleep, and look at the self, because this is conscious conditioning, but repeating it will change this about you. Okay, so reframe that sentence that I'm absolutely deserving of the position, of the increment, of the growth that I have in mind for myself, because I have these many levels of experience. I have these many projects that I have completed. So give it a tight reframing, which will change that thought in your mind. Do it repeatedly and practice it. Stop waiting for a green light or a red flag in your career. Keep practicing this over and over again. Okay. Now, the subconscious block. Here is what is the subconscious block. You can understand every belief and still wake up with the same hesitation. You can listen to something again and again and still wake up with the same fears, the same triggers, the same conditioning. Because the more we age, the more we carry on the conditioning, the traditional mindsets very strongly in our energy. And the more we rise up, the more uncertainty and fears we operate from. Okay, these patterns were laid down before you could consent to them. You have to understand this at a very, very young age. So it is not going to magically change overnight. So what do we need to do for this? So let's see what are the external wins our clients have seen from the Quantum Leaders program. Okay, so they have become more confident, grounded communication in high stakes room, reviews, board updates, in senior stakeholder meetings. They have changed the way they have communicated and confidently presented themselves, speaking up and expressing their point of view without intimidation or shrinking. Okay, clear, direct delegation that lands as leadership, receiving that appreciation, acknowledgement of that leadership, which was missing before. Leading teams with calm authority, making timely decisions without looping in self-doubt or endless consensus, holding boundaries with stakeholders while staying collaborative and respected, being recognized as the point person for critical projects and decisions, initiating promotion and pay increment is seen. Okay, moving from doing it all by themselves to building and trusting a capable team and learning how to delegate without judging themselves or others. navigating pushback and criticism without collapsing or over apologizing, right? These are the real time differences that they have seen over much more personality changes, confidence level changes, their whole aura changing, okay, that people have seen. These are real time differences that they have seen over the Quantum Leaders program that they have taken. So now let me come to you that what is the Quantum Leaders program. And before that, let's go ahead with the visualization. Okay, let's go ahead with the visualization right now for creating the belief of what? Creating the belief of how do you claim authority? How do you claim your authority? So I want you, all of you, wherever you are, to sit in a very, very relaxed position. I'll give you a guided meditation, and a very, very short 3 to 4 minutes it will take. But I want you to go through this experience and to keep this experience as long as you can in your energy. Okay? So be comfortable, gently close your eyes right now. Take a slow, deep breath in and slowly breathe out. I want you to repeat this one more time. A slow, deep breath in and let it go slowly. Allow your shoulders to soften, your jaw to relax, your mind to become quiet. And now I want you to imagine yourself exactly 1 year from today. Not as a different person. Okay, you. I want you to see yourself 1 year from today. The fullest expression of who you have always been capable of becoming. See yourself walking into a room with calm confidence in your work area. Notice your stance, how you stand. Notice yourself breathing. Notice how you speak. There is no need to prove yourself anymore to anyone. There is no need to seek permission here. You already belong in this room. Feel that version of yourself. Feel the certainty, the peace within you. The version of you doesn't pretend to be fearless. It is fearless. The version simply no longer allows fear to make decisions. Now, as I speak to each statement, just say yes to it and absorb the energy of these statements in the new identity. Okay? I chose courage over comfort. I release the need for constant approval in my life and in my decisions. I trust my voice. I trust my decisions. I trust the knowledge and the experience that I have had over the years to take these decisions in my life. I deserve to take up space. I lead with clarity. I allow myself to be seen. I'm comfortable being visible. I welcome greater responsibility. I'm becoming the leader I know I can be. My past no longer defines my future. My identity is expanding every day. Take a final look at this future version of yourself. Notice the peace in your face. Notice the confidence in your posture. Notice the impact you are creating. Now, imagine this version smile at you, walk towards you, and becomes you. There's no separation anymore. You're not becoming this leader someday. You begin becoming this leader today onwards. Okay, take a deep breath and you can open your eyes whenever you're ready. Let me know how you're feeling. Give a thumbs up to this and let me know what is it that you are feeling. And I will be taking on question answers. Awesome, awesome, Neelam. Ruhi, amazing. Mind is quieter. Absolutely true, Chetna. This is really, really great. Sakina, thank you. Relaxed and confident. Awesome. That's the idea. Confident, Kauthar. Amazing. Rehma, great. Ashita, I know and I believe I can. Absolutely, you can. Absolutely, you can. Mehnaz, calm and high vibration. Awesome. Love this. Farzana, relax and smiling. That's absolutely great. Yes, I will. We will be sending you, Neelam. We'll be sending you this recording for your, people who have attended this. We'll be sending you this recording. You can absolutely go through it and listen to it again. Okay, so let me now take you to the last bit of this Quantum Leaders Magnetic Identity Code. Okay, so it's basically a 7-day program to go underneath the thinking mind and clear what's running the show. So, what does it say from here is when we talk about identity and emotions, it is very, very deep rooted. So, over the last 25 to 30 minutes that I have spoken, or probably more that I have spoken, thank you first of all for being here throughout this and for people who have attended this. So, this is not just about your skills, not your communication, not your qualification, but the subconscious identity that quietly determines how most of your potential you actually express. Because here's the truth, you don't rise to the level of your talent. And I repeat this again, you don't rise to the level of your talent or the qualification or the experience of years that you have had. You rise to the level of the identity you consistently live from. And that's exactly why I created the Quantum Leaders 7-day Magnetic Identity Code. This isn't another motivation program. It is a subconscious belief work program. It's about identifying the subconscious blocks, emotional patterns, and identity blocks that have silently been keeping you from fully claiming your authority. Over the next 7 days, what I do is I will help you shift the internal operating system. That is your mind, your subconscious. So your confidence becomes natural, your decisions becomes clearer, your communication becomes more powerful. Because transformation doesn't happen when you are learning something new. It happens when you become someone new at your level of your thought process, of your subconscious, of your identity, your internal identity, not how people look at you or how people judge you from. So if you have resonated with the webinar that we had today, type 7 days in the comment section to know more. Dave from my team will guide you and will connect with you and will send you the details. And if you want to have a call, you can have a call with him to understand more about this. I would love to take any question that you have from this session today. And, we will begin our Q&A section right now. Please type your questions and you can unmute yourself and you can speak. Actually, awesome. So I'm waiting for your questions. If you have any questions, please ask me, or we will be disconnecting in like 2 minutes. And Dave will take on the questions from you guys later. Yes,
Hi,
Chetna.
Masana.
Yes, hi. How are you?
Sakina here, and I just want
Hi,
to say
Sakina.
thank you for the session.
Yes.
And I have a lot of takeaways from this session. So, and we will continue our Quantum Leaders program, and I'll book your sessions very soon.
So I want to tell everyone that Sakina is my client, and she is also a very, very dear friend. Over the years, we have worked together, and Sakina has been my client since the last many months, as well as years, I would say, for different services, not for Quantum Leaders alone. But Sakina, would you say a few words about your experience of the Quantum Leaders?
So I'll start with from where we started, from our name change to basically knowing the identity. Then, when I started the Quantum Leaders program with you, we worked on a lot of the inner beliefs, changing of my inner beliefs, and having creating my aura basically. And I think from there onwards, I only saw upwards in my life, upward direction. And you have been a great help. The program itself made me self reflect so much, which I think was really missing in my current state. So thank you so much. And I think whoever will join this program will really, really benefit from the sessions.
Amazing, Sakina. Thank you so much for your kind words. And yes, I have seen Sakina from where she was, and she always had that capability, a skill set. Only the belief part was missing, and that is what we instilled. And she is completely different. I think she's very inspiring to her team as well, who she leads. So thank you, Sakina, for your time.
Thank you, Mohsina.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, Kishwar. Yes, Kishwar, please go ahead.
Sure.
Kishwar is my client as well. Okay,
Yes.
she has joined my Quantum Leaders program. Yes, Kishwar, please go ahead.
I think a wonderful session, Mohsina, because these are things that I think we realize very, very much later in life. And to all the people who haven't joined her or what we are listening to her is something that keeps bringing to my mind that why didn't I know this earlier? Because I think the earlier I wouldn't call this as a disease or an illness, but just being self-sabotaging our own self and, limiting our own progression in life because of something very silly that we would have faced in the past, and we allow it to keep repeating and not allowing our future great self, what we just visualize, to come true. I think just a little bit help from Mohsina. It's just 2 sessions from her, but she's very patient. She really listens. She really is somebody that genuinely seems interested in you. And very rarely do we find people who genuinely want to help us. So I think it's just that space, that peace space, and the space that you can trust someone. I think that's a great way to begin. And I'm looking forward to a lot of great things in life, and having a mentor who sees more in you than yourself. I think it's a great way to move forward. So thank you, Mohsina.
Thank you so much, Kishwar. I think I'm very, very humbled, and these are the kind of things actually makes me do what I'm doing. These are kind of words that helps me boost what I'm doing. So thank you for your amazing, kind words. And yes, absolutely, like you said, there's a long way to go, and the way you have already started on, the journey that you have already started on. So I'm absolutely there, and thank you. Chetna, you have something to say, please.
Yes, thank you. So I am curious about your 7-day program.
Yes.
And I'm not assuming that in 7 days everything is, what's
Going
the word?
forward?
Fixed.
Yes.
Fixed or resolved. And I believe, is it a progressive thing that you will continue after 7 days? If you could just give me a little bit of information.
See, what happens, 7 days is a very, very strong, it's a clearing. Okay, so very strong clearing. So if you say that, this is what I am coming with, so say you have a belief of confidence, which is missing. Okay. And you come to me and you tell me that, Mohsina, I am not able to speak, though I have the knowledge, I have that, I want to give my ideas, but I'm not able to. So I go down your deeper beliefs in that and I clear it out. Okay. So you will absolutely become confident in terms of speaking. You will see that shift. The moment you will say address sessions, or you will go ahead and talk to your boss or your peers or your colleagues, or like you say, you are in the government. You're in Australia, right, Chetna?
UK.
UK, yeah, you are in the UK government. So you're doing some work. You will absolutely be able to present your ideas without any kind of intimidation, without any kind of confidence lag. Okay, so this is going to happen. But when I go into your energy and I see that there are 10 things which are missing in your energy, and I create those, because 150 to 100 beliefs is what I'm going to clear in those 7 days. So if you give me those priorities, absolutely I will clear only on those things. Then you say, no, Mohsina, I really liked it, I want to work with you in the future because it has helped me grow from A to B. I want to go to C to Z. That is absolutely going to be your call. It is not my decision in it or my influence in it, in you. Okay, so it's going to be your call. Rest.
It could be ongoing, is what you're saying. It could be an ongoing thing or a
If
regular
you
thing.
want it, if you want it, that is because I have leaders who are working with me for months. There are some, professions which are very, very uncertain. I would just name it real estate or Bollywood for that matter, where they need constant, that or industries like Jindal, so they need constant energy there, where they have to
I'm
take
in real estate
high.
as well as government. I'm in property.
Yes. So where they need high stake decision making at a point where they need that guidance, that what the decision should be, the strategic decisions that are needed. So they need it. So that is when it is important for people to, go through this program. And basically it's like, oh, I want to go ahead and I want to change my body image. Okay. So what do? You go to a gym, you ask a mentor to help you. Okay, so 1 month you see the transition, but your goal may not be ending there. You go ahead with the next month. Okay, so this is again an individual decision, not on the basis of any other aspect.
Okay.
Chetna, anything else?
Thank
Please tell me.
I'll wait for my contact. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you.
Thank you for joining in. Yes, anybody else who wants to ask a question, please raise your hand. And Dave, please take care of the people who have asked for the 7-day. We have Vidya as well. Vidya has been my client. Hi, Vidya. Hope you're doing well. Rehma has also been my client. Okay. So thank you for joining in, all of you. It was a lovely session. And thank you for your, contribution in this and your engagement. Silfa, thank you for joining in. Thank you, Madhushri, Dr. Madhushri. Yes, thank you for joining in. Take care. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a great day. Thank you.